Coming up, a developing story out of Schenectady as police search for an armed robber. Plus, cameras are ready to roll on the War of the Worlds. We'll take you to Athens. All that coming up next. Straight ahead, local salons remember a murdered stylist and try to get to the root of domestic violence. Plus, a small Greene County village turns into Tinseltown. We'll take you to Athens, where an Academy Award-winning director is about to make a movie. And she's 55 years old, less than 5 feet tall, weighs just 95 pounds. But none of that stopped the Schenectady woman from answering the call when Uncle Sam came knocking again. The news starts in 30 seconds.
Breaking news, first weather, CBS 6 News.
New at 11 tonight, another shotgun robbery. This time the search is on for the man who held up an area gas station. Good evening, I'm Gretzinger. It happened just before 10 this evening at the Cumberland Farms on State Street. All we know at this time is that a man carrying a shotgun walked into the store in Schenectady and demanded cash. No word on how much money he may have gotten away with, and there were no reports of any injuries. Now, this was the same MO in Friday night's holdup of this Albany Hollywood video store. Police are still looking for the man responsible for that robbery. No word if the two are connected, but if you have any information on either incident, you can contact police. Also new at 11 tonight, an Albany family is homeless after fire breaks out inside their home. It happened around 8 p.m. at the home on 21 Moore Street. Still no word on what may have caused this fire. Okay, time right now for a look at our first weather. Here's meteorologist Mike Tamas. He's going to look at what we can expect in the day or so ahead. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, the cold is definitely on. Temperatures are falling like a rock right now, and that will continue to be the case tonight. Let's take a look at the forecast for tomorrow. Clouds will be on the increase late tonight and tomorrow morning. 20 by 8 will be a chilly one out at the bus stop. Cloudy, cold, and dry by noon, and then light snow will develop during the afternoon. Continue into the evening. I'll let you know how much we're all going to get when I come back in a few minutes.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. You know, Liza Warner was a popular local hairstylist until her husband shot and killed her back on October 1st. Today, her family and friends hosted a pair of events, one to help end domestic violence, the other to help keep her memory alive. It looked like business as usual at the Jean Paul salon. Women in chairs, stylists at work.
Come in, make them look good, feel good.
What you can't see is what these women have in common. Domestic violence, all of them victims from the YWCA shelter. Jean Paul turned off the registers and donated their services in memory of former stylist Liza Warner, herself a victim of domestic violence.
This is being done in memory of my daughter.
Liza's mom, Marcia, says she hopes the day of pampering will improve the women's self-esteem and perhaps keep them from ending up like her daughter.
And I've been talking to these women to hopefully educate them somewhat. That we don't want them to be a statistic as well as Liza has been a statistic.
Earlier in the day, Anya's hair salon, also a former employer of Liza, hosted a cut-a-thon, donating money from the cuts to a scholarship fund, which will be awarded annually in Liza's name to a beauty school student. Doug Warner says it makes him feel good to know his daughter was so well loved.
This is a wonderful tribute to our daughter, and speaks volumes for her and her impact on the community because she was loved by many, many people.
Anya says they plan on making the cut-a-thon an annual event. Well, another first-of-its-kind fundraiser was held today in Malta. Dozens of area children were on hand for an opportunity to meet the jolly old elf and to enjoy an afternoon of fun, including magic and face painting. But there was a serious side to all of it. All the money raised going to benefit the New York State Remorial, a memorial of sorts for missing persons. It's a project close to the hearts of Doug and Mary Lyle, whose daughter Suzanne has been missing since 1998. But they say that constructing the monument is just one of their objectives.
We're also committed to helping out with safety projects, getting fingerprinting kits to kids so we can help people keep kids safe.
Children in attendance did get free fingerprint kits. The Lyles say the Remorial will cost about $100,000 to construct, and they are about a third of the way there. Police tell us a Schuylerville man was killed last night in a head-on collision in the town of Saratoga. 44-year-old James Wallace was driving on Route 29 when police say he failed to negotiate a turn. He crossed into the oncoming lane and hit a car. Wallace was killed. The driver of the other vehicle, 29-year-old Stacy Vanaveri, remains in critical condition at Albany Med. Her father, Grant, was also in the car. He's in stable condition. Well, we've been talking about this next story for weeks, and so have many of you. But now, this is it. The first frames of film roll tomorrow as Steven Spielberg and his Hollywood pals start shooting the War of the Worlds. Joe Gambino was there.
The village of Athens is now a movie set, complete with a big crane, large cables, and a huge helping of curiosity.
I'm just curious to see, like, really how noisy it's going to be, like, with the railroad and everything, and I don't know. I'm just curious to see what goes on.
It seems like everyone that lives in Athens is overwhelmed by activity. That just doesn't happen here.
Around here, if the fire alarm goes off, everybody gets excited, so this is a really big deal.
The town that doesn't even have a traffic light is about to become Hollywood on the Hudson.
We get to have movie stars come here, and Tom Cruise is going to be here.
When or if Tom is coming is still a bit of a mystery. The same can be said for War of the Worlds director Steven Spielberg. But before the cameras start rolling and extras start screaming as they flee from Martians, expect the routine to change. Movie security has made it clear this is going to be a tight set. Police have already closed off a 3-block radius around the film set to all traffic. With very few exceptions, that means everyone out.
It's an inconvenience.
But most people say it's okay because how often in a lifetime does something like this happen in a quaint, quiet little place like this?
I think it's awesome that they're filming a movie in, like, a small town like this.
The movie shoot is expected to begin early tomorrow night with as many as 1,000 extras, each of them getting paid $80 a day. For CBS 6 News, I'm Joe Gambino.
If you watched 60 Minutes tonight, you saw a report on a woman from Schenectady. Just this past week, the Pentagon announced it's boosting the levels of U.S. troops in Iraq to its highest point ever. And to make that happen, the U.S. is drawing from a pool of semi-retired soldiers, like this woman, called the Individual Ready Reserve.
I need to serve my country, and the call has come out, so I'm doing that.
55-year-old Margaret Murray of Schenectady served her country back in the 60s, but she's now one of thousands of semi-retired soldiers who've been called back into action. Murray, now at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, is getting ready for duty in Iraq. During her interview, she was asked if she finds it unusual that the Army is calling up a woman in her 50s.
No, although I think what they need to look at is our abilities to perform maybe in a tactical environment. I did not retire, and so now the Army's calling me back to service, and I'm here to do that.
The personnel specialist says she did have trouble picking up her M16 when she started training, let alone firing it. She says now she can hit the target. And awaiting Murray in Iraq, more attacks on more security targets. An Iraqi National Guard checkpoint was struck by a suicide bomber, followed by separate deadly assaults on Iraqi patrols, killing 21 people. In addition to spreading fear, the attacks may also be resulting in more weapons falling into the hands of militants. Families of 9/11 victims are at Ground Zero in New York today, gathering signatures as they try to pressure congressional leaders into passing intelligence reforms. But as Susan Roberts reports, some groups are urging Congress to take it slow.
The first order of business for lawmakers returning to the nation's capital Monday will be to decide whether to schedule a vote in the House on the intelligence reform bill. Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist is confident a deal can be reached.
We'll come together and there will be compromise, but compromise that'll be to the satisfaction of the majority of people in the House and the Senate.
House Speaker Dennis Hastert killed a vote last month of the bill after several powerful House members objected to portions of the bill, particularly concerning the loss of control over intelligence by the Pentagon and the issue of illegal immigration. The bill passed overwhelmingly in the Senate. It also has President Bush's support, as well as members of the 9/11 Commission, many of whose recommendations it contains. The bill should pass easily if brought to a vote in the House, and Democrats urge Republican leaders to resolve their differences.
How can we leave town and not have this most important legislation passed? It may not be perfect, but no legislation is perfect. It's something that we need to do, and the people of America are depending on us to do it.
Family members of those who died in the terrorist attacks want lawmakers to realize the safety of Americans is at stake.
Congress must stop acting like a bunch of high school student council members.
All week they have been gathering signatures on a petition they plan to present to Speaker Hastert Monday, urging him to pass the bill for the safety of the country. Susan Roberts, CBS News, Washington.
4 people are behind bars after a knife fight in Montgomery County. We'll have those details coming up, plus a crackdown on athletes and steroid use. A Republican leader says if Major League Baseball doesn't take action, the government will. And it's Christmas time in the capital region. From the lighting of the Empire State Tree to the annual stroll back to the Victorian era. We'll recap the day's big events. CBS 6 News is back in 60 seconds.
watching the news on CBS 6.
After a week of very bad press, the Baseball Players Union plans to take up the issue of steroid abuse at a meeting this week in Phoenix. And Senator John McCain says it's not coming a moment too soon. The Senate Commerce Committee chairman is threatening that if Major League Baseball doesn't take action against steroid users, he will.
The important aspect of this issue is not Barry Bonds or Jason Giambi or Gary Sheffield. The important aspect of this issue is that high school kids all over America believe that this is the only way they can make it. Ask any high school coach. This is the tragedy of steroids, and we all know that it'll destroy a young person's body, and that's why we've got to bring this to a halt.
Now, it has been reported that home run slugger Barry Bonds told a federal grand jury he used substances given to him by a trainer who has been indicted in an alleged steroid distribution ring. Back in October, Yankees outfielder Gary Sheffield said he also used a cream but didn't know it contained steroids. Both men have been tied to the Balco lab, which is at the center of the federal investigation. Michael Jackson has apparently given a DNA sample to investigators working on his child molestation case. Santa Barbara County Sheriff's investigators raided the pop star's Neverland Ranch on Friday, looking for a DNA sample from the gloved one. A day later, Jackson submitted to having his mouth swabbed by investigators. No word on what kind of evidence this will be compared to. Jackson, who has denied all accusations, faces trial at the end of January. A dangerous knife fight in Amsterdam has landed 4 men in jail. The fight happened last night on Union Street. Police say when they arrived, they found each of the men wielding large knives. Arrested were 22-year-old Jose Ramos, 18-year-old Mark Baez, 17-year-olds Ariel Oval and Edgar Miranda. Still not clear what the fight was about. The holiday spirit is alive and well in the Capital District. Starting here, nearly 15,000 people turned out today for the annual Victorian Stroll in Troy. Folks are dressed up in period costumes. There was plenty of entertainment for all of them, from vendors to street performers. And with the flip of a switch, there you go. Holiday season at the Empire State Plaza in Albany. Hundreds braving the chilly temperatures for the annual Christmas tree lighting. This year's towering spruce, all 35 feet of it, came from a family in Greenwich. After the tree lighting ceremony, people were treated to a fireworks display. Check that out. Here's the big question, though. Will there be snow covering the big old tree soon? Keep it right here. Mike Tamas in with a look at your forecast next.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch.
Your CBS 6 Instant Doppler Forecast with meteorologist Mike Tamas.
It is looking likely that that Christmas tree in the Empire State Plaza will have some light snow on it come tomorrow evening, so add a little to the holiday ambiance. And tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock out by the bus stop, 20 degrees, mostly cloudy, and a high temperature of 29. That will occur late in the day, and we'll have some light snow developing by about between 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, as it looks like we have maybe 1 to 3 inches on the way. Not too bad for this time of year. Albany is 25 right now, 21 in Glens Falls. Up in Saranac Lake, they're already below 0, so hopefully they got all the covers up there. Not that cold here. We'll drop down maybe another 5, 8 degrees, but you can see the clouds moving in from the west. This will inhibit temperatures from falling all the way down to the low teens in single digits. So this will kind of keep it warm, kind of a blanket for the earth right there as it heads on to the east. So not looking for a terrible cold tonight. You can see there is lots more cloudiness off to the west. And there's some precipitation now heading eastward. This is warm air crashing into cold air. That's why we're seeing that rain develop. And as that rain heads east, we'll run into even colder air and turn to snow. Lots and lots of cold air up in Canada, near 20 below, near St. James Bay, as high pressure is itching to drop south and east, and it will park itself over northern New England, and that's why we'll see some snow tomorrow as we have a very cold dome of high pressure. That will keep the warm air from coming in, but the warm air will ride up and over that dome, and that will produce some light snow. Looking about 3, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's when we'll see the first flakes. It'll continue through about midnight. Nothing major, just nuisance variety. Looks like we could see a coating to 2 inches, maybe up to 3 inches in the mountains. And once again, starting 3 o'clock to about midnight, travel impact looks minor. Nothing really to worry about, but it's just the first snow of the season for most of us, so it's something to look forward to. And by Tuesday morning, we have a storm system way out to the west.